as you make your way down this path and further into the garden, I want you to look around and tell me if there's anything that you notice or anything that stands out to you in this place.
There's just a big hill in front of me, like a grassy big hill. I can't see over the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I want to run up the hill, stand at the top.
Beautiful. Allow yourself to run up that hill all the way to the top and tell me what you see or what you experience.
So I'm at the top of the hill. There's like a village on the other side, like lots of little buildings, people. Like I can't describe this as like this is a long time ago, a lady walking around she seems a bit like a milkmaid. I want to say like a milkmaid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, just lots of people moving around. Like there are like haystacks and forks and like men in dungaree type clothes. Yeah.
And so, as you take a moment and focus on yourself in this place, do you feel male or female?
I'm male.
Mm-hmm. And do you get a sense of how old you are? Does a number come to mind?
Not, I'm in my 20s,
Mm-hmm.
so young.
And so, as you focus on your body, tell me what you're wearing.
Um, they're like really light brown dungaree type shorts. They're like Huckleberry Finn type trousers
Mm-hmm.
and a shirt. Nothing on my feet and a hat on my head. That's it.
And as you scan down your body, are you wearing or are you holding anything in your hands?
Got a piece of straw that I'm chewing on in my mouth and a fork that's thrown over my shoulder.
Tell me what it is that you do with that fork. What do you use that for?
I've been picking up the hay. We're bundling it all together, harvesting the hay, getting it all together. I don't know what we're doing with it, but it just helped to harvest. There are big tractors. Why would there be a tractor? There's a tractor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Does it feel like that's out of place in the scene?
Hmm. But I see it.
Mm-hmm. Is it like a traditional tractor? What does it look like?
Hmm. It's not traditional. It's bigger. Seems bigger than a tractor that we would have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I know it's not like collecting the hay because that's my job. Don't collect the hay, the straw. It just seems odd that it's there. It doesn't feel right, but
Mm-hmm. So as you look around in this place, tell me what else you notice or what stands out to you.
mm, women with buckets of water, washing their clothes in the bucket, just milling around doing their chores. It's a beautiful day, sun shining. Everybody seems really happy. It's a really simple kind of life. No worries.
How do you
Children
feel in
out
this
playing.
life?
Really content, really happy.
Mm-hmm.
They can see the children playing. They don't have any worries. Just free.
Very good. And so, what is a day in your life like? What do you do each day?
Just get out and go out into the field. Collect the hay. We work in the field most of the day. We just stop for lunch. We might sit under a tree and eat our lunch. And then we carry on with our work. And at the end of the day, we go back to the village where the women are waiting. We have a meal. And then we sit around a fire and we play music. Just really relaxed.
And how do you feel about the work that you do in the fields? Do you enjoy that or how do you feel?
Yeah, it's really easy. No pressure. Everybody's happy.
What do you do with the hay? What do you use that for?
We make things with the hay. And then we trade it with other people. Other people need the hay. So we just share it. They give us food. We give them hay, or sometimes it's something else that we need on the farm.
Beautiful. Very good. Well, as you look at this scene and all that's happening around you, is there anything else that's important for you to know about this place?
We keep coming back to the tractor
Mm-hmm.
because it's not really supposed to be there. I feel like this is to do with what we do today on our land. We need to go back to how we used to farm our land, more traditional ways. Like sometimes the technology that we have, it saves time, but it's spoiling the soil, it's spoiling the land. And then the food that we grow, it's not nutritious. It isn't how it used to be. We just want to do everything so quickly, mass produce. We just want so much. We have to go back to community, to growing in good, clean soil, looking after the soil, getting our hands in the soil more, getting rid of all the pesticides that we use. Just need to look after the earth, and then the earth will look after us with the food that we grow. We'll be more nourished because it'll be better for us.
And do you see in the future us moving back to a way of farming our food in a similar manner to the way that you're shown in this lifetime, where we're doing things by hand that you see in the future for us?
So people coming together, contributing, all just having little jobs to do, like planting the seeds, and potting the plants and then putting them into the soil. Everybody will have their own little job to do. So it will still be really relaxed, no pressure. Just each community working together. So we won't need all the big tractors and the machinery that we have because we don't need to produce so much in that way. We just need to produce what we need in each community. This way it's healthier for our bodies. And it's easier work.
What's the best way for people to begin to create these communities and come together in this way?
Just to find the people that you resonate with. Like Tracy has started to grow her own food in her own yard. She loves this. But it's easier if everybody comes together rather than everybody doing it on their own. So it's finding the people that you just want to be around and just building a community garden where everybody joins in and does their bit. So this doesn't have to be like, this can be on land where everybody lives in that community, but even in the places that we live now, we can start this, even if it does have to be in our own yard right now. and then sharing the food. Like Tracy's experienced this in the community that she lives, where people just share what they grow. And it's heartwarming, it's really beautiful that they're willing to do that. So this is so possible. People are doing it already. It's just easier if we all do it in the communities that we live.
Very good. And so we're seeing a rise in prices of food and resources around the world. How is that pushing us into creating these communities? Is that helping us to move into more of a natural way of growing our own foods?
It brings us back into our sovereignty. Like we don't need to rely on shops to buy our food, especially when we're told that there's a lack of it, which isn't the truth. There's no lack of food. We're just told that there's a lack of food. And then, of course, everybody, sorry,
You're fine.
everybody runs out to buy more food to keep themselves feeling safe. But if we grow our own food, then we're standing in our own power. We don't need to rely on anyone else. We grow what we need. We eat what we need. We know what's in our food because we're growing it. We just feel more empowered, more sovereign, more like we're taking back control of our own selves and our own lives. That goes for everything that we do, where we live, where we work. If we can't grow our own food right now, we should be sourcing food from our local farmers, using local produce, but making sure that we're looking after ourselves, taking back our own power. And then there's nothing to fear on the outside. Like, no matter what you're told about there being a lack of anything, you're looked after.
Beautiful. Very good. Is there anything else important about this lifetime and this village that we looked at? Anything else important about that lifetime that we need to know or understand?
Just how simple it is. How we don't have to work so hard for everything we have. It's just been something that's been ingrained in us. If we give that stuff up, go back to growing what we need, working for ourselves, looking after each other, we can live a really simple, carefree life. And it's really happy, it's really joyful. We're just not used to it because we've been taught to work so hard, 8 hours a day, in jobs that we don't like. If we could just see that we don't need to be doing that. that we'll be looked after no matter what, as long as we listen to our heart and what our heart really wants. We can just live this really simple, easy life.
Very good. Very good. She feels like she has a deep love for essential oils and crystals and chakras and qigong and meditation. Now, we originally saw a lifetime where she was maybe what we would consider to be a witch, making her potions and things. Is that where that love comes from? Does that come from a past life, from many past lives? Why does she love those things so much?
Many past lives.
Mm-hmm. Tell her a little bit about
This
that.
is her love of natural things, things that can heal the body, things that we've been taught in the past to be quiet about, because there is an agenda to keep us going down the road of needing medication. She's always known that there's something else. We have the power to heal our own bodies, that natural herbs and oils and crystals can help with that. And that meditation is just one of the most valuable things that we can do, to go inside, to discover who we are. Just opens up space for us to see what we need to see when it comes to trauma and emotions that are stuck in the body. Meditation quietens the mind and opens up that space so that we can see and feel. It's all about feeling the emotions as they come up and then transforming them by feeling and acknowledging that they exist in our bodies, not pushing them away.
What happens when we push them away and we don't allow ourselves to feel those emotions?
They create pain, energy stuck in the body, disease, anxiety. They keep us stuck. And then we look outside of ourselves for things to heal. We go to a doctor, or we smoke cigarettes, or use alcohol or drugs, or we use avoidance techniques in order to avoid going within, seeing what we really need to see. This is like, once we start releasing all of these energies, these trapped emotions, completely changes the energy on the planet, on the earth. Like we become neutral. We don't react to all of the things going on outside us anymore. Maybe like we still feel our emotions, but we don't react in such a harsh way to them. We see and we observe, we understand where they're coming from, that it's somebody else's trauma coming up. We don't attach to it. We can just observe it. So then we're more neutral. And we're then putting out more harmony, forgiveness, more peace. This is how the energies of the earth change as we change. Like people think that they have to be doing something on the outside, but really the art is to go within and to clear our own stuff out. That's how it works. So meditation is really helpful.
Beautiful. Very good. She wants to know, what gifts and abilities does she have? And is there anything that we can activate for her today?
She's been able to work on those stuck emotions, things that have kept her, she calls it trapped on the hamster wheel. And that cycle of doing things that she didn't love doing. She was able to see that, kind of woke her up to her whole life, what she was doing. She could see that it didn't make her happy and that she needed to make changes. And the changes are good, but it's going within that helps. So she's been able to just be in that neutral place so much more, feel more joyful, more bliss. So her energy when she goes out into the world is so different to how it used to be. Just that in itself is a gift. Like she had some trouble with stopping, not working, not doing. Just took such a long time to feel content in that. She's still working on that. But her energy is now really different. And she's more at peace. And that peace just vibrates. That's what we all need to do. Still shining our light. It's just really simple. It's like that life that she had where everything was really simple. This is really simple work. It's just the fear of going within that stops people from doing it. They'd rather blame people on the outside, the government, the doctors, the hospitals, the schools. Like it all needs changing, but we need to go within to change it. So this is her biggest gift, in having noticed that she needed to do this. But she wants more.
Mm.
She wants to do more, but she's learning to continue with this work because she knows deep down that this is really important work. And there may be more later, but for now it's just really simple. So now she can start having fun and vibrating that out into the world, because she no longer has all of those stuck energies. And if she does, she sees them, she knows what to do with them. So the rest will come.
Beautiful. And she wonders what her mission or her sole purpose for the ascension is. What can you share with her?
She has a big purpose. I think it's in helping others with what she knows now. This is why she needed to be thrown into this feeling of kind of despair in her life. She knows what that feels like. She knows how to work with these stuck energies. She knows how to put other people's mind at ease so that they don't feel a lot of fear around this, because it can be a really big challenge. It can feel really scary to know that you have all of these stuck energies, this fear, this shame, this guilt, this anger, frustration, all of these feelings inside your body. We've all had this. If we didn't have it, we wouldn't react to what's going on outside of us so much. So it's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be fear or feel guilty of. It's just how we've perceived our lives. And some of that is shame and guilt that other people have put upon us, but it doesn't belong to us. So she knows how to put other people at ease. She just knows how to make them feel comfortable. So that's what she'll do.
And will she have any sort of healing type of a business? Will she do that in a business format, or will she just do that naturally?
She could do either, but I feel it's more of a natural way of being. It's just about being present. Maybe it's going to be about being present at healing communities, in healing communities, just letting other people know that they have nothing to worry about, that just that they can do this, just giving them encouragement. and just being in that state of joy, because people react to that. They want more of what you have when you're reacting in that state. So they want to kind of be around you and know how you got there. So it may be that she speaks about this rather than has a healing business, but it could be that too. Just depends on how she feels, how she wants to put it out there.
Very good. She says, as a former midwife, she wants to know how how giving birth is going to change in the future as we transition to 5D. What can you share with her about that?
Hmm. This makes her smile because she wants things to be more natural, which they will. As we start to release these fears that we have, that make our body feel that we can't do things naturally, it will just change the physiology, the cells within the body. Like we'll just have different beliefs, more of an inner knowing that we can birth naturally, that we're safe, and that everything's taken care of. We just need to heal the traumas that we had first, though. We need to release all of those fearful energies that tell us that we can't do this. All of the information that we've been given before about the fear around natural birth, about the need for cesarean section, about the capability of our body to be able to birth. We just need to feel into the cells of our body, know that it knows exactly what stage we're at, and to move through our labour with that knowing, and to use our own natural pain relief that we have, that is dampened down. I want to say killed off, but it's not really the right words. But when we use medication to avoid the pain of birth, it stops our own natural pain relief from coming through. So it actually makes the process harder. We just need to go back to really learning about the body, the physiology, the cells, the inner knowing that we're safe, that we have confidence. It's just about getting rid of the old belief system that we don't have any power in our body, because we do. She also knows about the dolphin music and how this can really help. Listening to this in labour, she's heard this already, and she knows that this can be really helpful. So it may be something that we need to try. Like dolphins have really powerful beautiful healing energy. And just really resonating with that sound and allowing it to permeate through the cells of the body just really helps. So there's going to be a lot more to come when we start releasing all of the old belief systems that we have around birth. Definitely become more natural, and for the baby too, more peaceful. It'll be beautiful.
Very good. Very good. She wants to know about this strange experience that she had one morning when she got out of bed really quickly. Almost felt like she was being pulled back and out of her head. What was happening that day?
So I just want to say, like, it was an out of body experience, but she was too afraid to go with that feeling. And every time she closed her eyes and felt the shift, the energy, the pull, she became afraid and brought herself back into her reality. And so it didn't work. It was a really strange feeling for her. And she'd never really felt that before, had that sense of shifting out of the body. And so it frightened her too much to carry on with it. But now that she knows what it is, she won't be afraid of it again. It'll be something that she can play around with and experience. It's only the fear that stops it. But she knows that now.
Very good. Very good. She's wondering what was happening a trip that she took to Townsville, and she saw all of these intense colors and everything looked so beautiful, almost as if she had gone into a portal. What can you tell her about that experience?
It was a change of energy. She knows this on a deeper level, that it is just like going through a portal into a new reality. The feeling that she got was one of immense love and gratitude and appreciation for everything that she saw around her. This is like the 5D energy that we're all going to experience. It's like everything looks different. It was like a little invitation to experience that, although she had no idea that that's what it was. And it's like when you experience this energy, yeah, it's just like seeing everything from a different view, from a different perception. But it's the energy that is producing that. So everything just looked really fresh and new and beautiful and peaceful. And she just hadn't experienced that before, so she questioned it, felt just such immense love and compassion for being in that space.
Beautiful. That sounds amazing. She wanted to know, she said when she walked into the Sacre-Cœur in France while on holiday, she became very emotional. Maybe something to do with the music or having a connection there. What can you tell her about that experience? Why did she feel those strong emotions?
The music is very angelic and it activated her, woke up the cells in her body. She remembered this feeling, this energy from before, and it activated something inside of her and created the emotion, which was just of pure love. And she still experiences that now. When she hears angelic music, sometimes when she experiences the love of source, the energy takes over her body. It's overwhelming. It's like such a strong energy for her because she didn't sense this as a child. There was no love, no compassion, no feeling. She always felt that she would never experience this. And so walking into the Sacre-Cœur activated her, but it was just the beginning. Now she knows what it feels like to be in that feeling of immense love. Still a bit overwhelming, but it's beautiful.
And so, as you mentioned, the experiences that she had in her childhood, that's one of her questions is what was the main purpose of the physical and the emotional abuse that she experienced? What does she need to know or understand about that?
It's how she has so much compassion for others because she felt that abuse so deeply that she has a deep understanding of how it feels. And she also has something to compare that with now, with this deep feeling within of love that doesn't come from the outside, doesn't come from relationships, doesn't come from the job that you do, it doesn't come from drugs, alcohol. It's a deep sense of love from within. And she now has such a contrast to work with. And she can express that love through her now, rather than looking for it on the outside, which is what she did growing up and in her relationships. She now realizes that other people can't give you that we all have to go within to find it. So her biggest lesson is to go within and do the work yourself. And then to be able to see the contrast between the two. And to have compassion for those that are still going through that haven't quite woken up yet. That don't quite realize that they're still on the hamster wheel. That don't understand that they're being triggered. That's how she can help them.
Very good. She's in a channeling group, and there's a person in this group that she feels a very intense connection toward. And she's wondering, what is that connection? Is there any past life connections with him, or is that something else?
It was actually her connection to his emotion that he was expressing. This is part of her compassion, that she can feel these energies really deeply, and that it resonated in her for quite some time after the experience. It's part of her understanding other people's pain and how they feel, how they do. So she thought it was to do with a past life, but it's more to do with the resonance of the energy. And just seeing that she just has this compassion for others. And it's just about making sure that she has a boundary around herself in order to protect herself from attaching to that too much. But that it can be really helpful to feel other people's energies, but not attached to them, because it gives you understanding of what they're going through. And she just needs to protect herself from that a little. She knows this.
Very good. Very good. Her friend Julie passed, and she felt a very strong connection to Julie. What can you tell her about that connection?
So she feels that Julie has such an angelic presence, and she connects to that presence. It's all to do with the feeling again. When she met Julie, She just thought that this was like a chat between two friends. But Julie has a really beautiful, angelic presence that radiates, or did radiate from her when she was on the earth. And Tracy didn't realize this at the time, but she can still connect to that presence now, even though Julie has passed. And again, it's that immense feeling of love that Julie showed Tracy when she was here. The time that she spent with her meant so much to Tracy, even though she wasn't aware that that's what it was at that time. She's aware of that now. And she just connects really easily to that energy. And it still brings up that immense emotion of love that Julie showed her.
Does Julie have any messages that she'd like to bring forward for Tracy today?
I just feel her so just, it's just always so much love that comes from her. She just pours it out. And I just feel it. She's just expressing who she is. So beautiful. It's like ironic that when she was here, she needed a heart transplant in order to stay on the planet, to stay on the earth. And she got that heart transplant. And she also fought hard for others for organ donation to get the hearts that they needed to. And she had the biggest heart of all people that I know. But that she had to be somewhere else. The heart transplant didn't take. And so she passed over. Yeah, I still feel her so much. I feel like that's what she does now. She still radiates that love from wherever she is. Just beautiful.
Beautiful. Very good. Very good. So she feels like she's been guided to the area that she lives in. She's also wanting to travel and move around, do different things, maybe not be so stuck to one place. What does she need to know about where she is, where she's headed? What can you bring through for her today?
She has the traveling bug.
Hmm.
It's only fear that keeps her where she is right now. Just a little fear that She has no idea where she's going. She has a knowing, though, that she just needs to feel into where she wants to be, like into her knowing, her intuition, which is connected to her heart, which tells her, just lets her know what she loves. And at the moment, she just loves to be in different places, to be settled in that place for a while, to experience all that she needs to experience in that place, and then to move on. Brings her a lot of joy to do that. She just needs to follow that joy and not to fall into the story of the fear, where people will say not to travel, where they will say stay where you are, it's safer. She knows what she feels. She knows to explore that. It's what gives her a freedom. And that's what she feels when she travels, the freedom. She knows when she's in that space of source energy that she is totally looked after, protected, that there is nothing that can come between the love of what she wants to do, unless she falls back into the fear. She just needs to keep following her heart.
And so she's eager to go back to the UK so that she can see her children and her grandchildren. And she had heard some channelers say that people shouldn't travel at this time. Anything that she should be worried about with that?
Again, this is just somebody else's perception of what they've heard. This is the point where we all need to trust our own intuition, go within, listen, connect with our heart space, and follow that. This is just another case of going outside of ourselves and taking information that doesn't really belong to us, and then getting trapped in the fear of that information. We all need to trust ourselves, just as we need to trust our bodies when we're birthing a baby, when we're in childbirth. We need to come back to trusting our intuition and our inner knowing. It's like our guidance system. It's being channeled to us, so it can't be wrong. It's only wrong when you listen to what's outside of you and you accept that and you ignore what's going on within. So just keep doing what you do. It fills Tracy's heart to go home and see her family. So that's what she should do.
And she wonders when she goes, should she stay with her son or would it be better to get a place of her own?
She could do either, but she has a sense that This is kind of her new independence in trusting herself and knowing that she'll find a place when she gets there, that something will be available. If her son's place is set up and is ready, then she can go there. But she also has that faith that she'll find something if it isn't. So it's kind of a wait and see game. Either is okay. But she does have this sense of wanting to stand on her own 2 feet now and do whatever she wants to do, have her own space. But she can do either.
Very good. And she's wondering about the argument that she had with her eldest son when she decided to move to Australia. What does she need to understand about that argument that's still unresolved?
It was like a trigger for her to look at her situation, which is exactly what she did. So this was like somebody else's energy creating an experience that she could just have taken, which she did at the time, take in a negative way, in a hurt way. But she realized later that this was an experience that was a learning experience where she could go within and understand why she was triggered in that experience, and to realize that this wasn't really about the situation. It was about releasing the shame and the guilt that she felt that was already within her, that was being expressed through somebody else. Once she saw that, became aware of it, she could then forgive the whole situation, be assured that it was here to teach her something. And so she's managed to release that, which then changes the energy surrounding the experience for herself and her son.
She wonders why she moved to Australia when most of her children live in the UK. What can you share with her about that?
To do with the energy. She lived in Australia when she was younger. It was more joyful. Although there was still a lot of stuff going on in the relationship between her mum and dad, there was still a lot of abuse, a lot of heaviness in the family. She could feel the energy. It was different in Australia to where she used to live in the UK. She still feels that now. It's just a happier place to be. And she really intended for her children to be here too. But they're on their own journeys. And she can accept and appreciate that. And it's just showing her children that she is still there for them no matter what. No matter where she lives or where she is. She's still connected. Because we're all connected. It's just being able to express that without, they're not on the same page as her. They don't do this work. So to them, it might seem like she has upped and left, but she knows how connected she is to them. And so that energy now changes. Even while she's away from them, she's seen that. But when she visits them, they'll feel that energy even more, which will help them. She knows already that she doesn't need to say anything, but she just feels to express herself in their presence and to be around her grandchildren. Just be there.
Very good. Very good. And just wanted to address her health concerns. She experienced some epilepsy in her life. And what's happening there? What does she need to know about that? Anything that she needs to be concerned about, or is that passed out of her life?
No, that's gone. The more work she does on healing, I want to say the less chance she has of experiencing this, but it doesn't exist for her anymore. It was emotional, stuck energy within the body. It was fear. And the more she tapped into the fear of having a seizure, the more she brought that into her reality. And she doesn't have that fear anymore because she knows that shifting, doing this work is healing. She doesn't need to worry about that.
Very good. Very good. And just her final question is about her sweet fur baby Ash. He was sick a little while ago, but much better. And she's wondering if there's anything that she needs to know about that. What was that experience about?
It was actually her fear of loss at that time. She was listening to the outside world, to the fear of what would happen to people that were taking the medication, the
Mm-hmm.
jab, and the fear of experiencing that loss within her own family. She actually created an experience where she did lose Ash for a very short while. And then he came back and she realized that she had to work on that fear. And then people kept telling her about the large amount of ticks that were now in the area that she lived. And then, of course, that fear came into her reality. And as she got sick, she got the very thing that she didn't want, but she didn't lose him. She just needed to work through the fear and knowing that nobody really dies, nobody really passes away. This was her old story. before she knew that she had this connection with God, with Source, that nobody ever really dies. Now she doesn't feel any fear over that. And this experience with Ash kind of makes her smile now because she has no fear over losing him. They have a great bond. They have great adventures together. She just loves the time that she has with him. He's very special.
Does she need to give him any tick medications? She wonders about that.
She can, if she feels that it will make life easier, she can. He's well protected. But it's challenging on the earth when these things happen. And she's experienced that energy of him having to be taken away and helped by a vet. And then hearing other people say that their dogs have died after having the same experience. So she can give him the medication. It's not going to cause any problems. She's already spoken to Heather about this. And I think she feels more settled in just giving him half a dose of medication now, just to feel better in herself, in knowing that he is protected in both ways. So that's what she'll do.
Very good. Very good. Are there any final messages today? Anything else that you'd like to bring through and share with her?
Just the importance of continuing the work, of going within and just releasing any energies that are left. She's done really well with this. She knows what to do. And then just being herself, the new self, because she can definitely see the difference between this self and her old self. This is what other people will experience when they do the inner work.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for all that incredible information today. It has been such a pleasure